We're the Indie Projects, Bee and Theo, and with our cat Ginjey Bear, we're driving around the world in our beautiful self-built Sprinter van. For the last 6 years, we have driven over 100,000 miles around Europe, exploring all the way up to the Arctic Circle in Norway. Follow us as we embark on the next chapter and ship our home halfway across the world to Canada. But first, we need to obtain our visa, so we are flying to Belfast in Ireland to visit the US consulate.
We have just arrived in Belfast and we picked up our hire car, and this is the first time that we have ever been to Ireland before.
We're pretty knackered because we've been up since before 5 a.m, which for us is early, but we're here because we've got our interviews for our visas with the United States at the US consulate.
But we're also very excited because we're going to try and explore as much as Ireland as possible in the next few days. Gotta test the beeper.
Days of a brand new start came in perfect time and measure. Grace and a golden heart, how we've thrown our arms around you.
Hello, come in. Welcome to our Airbnb. It's beautiful, and one of the reasons we chose it is because it's actually an old coach house which has been converted into accommodation. We're currently in the living room and kitchen area. Everything you need is here, and I've got to say we were drawn to this because back in the day when me and Theo used to rent places to live, we would always look for unique places like coach houses and stuff, because even back then we had an interest in weird accommodation. But the thing that really made me want to stay here is upstairs. It's wonderful. My favourite part about this Airbnb that we're staying in is this bath that's right in the bedroom. It's a roll top bath. It's proper vintage. It's absolutely beautiful. Gives me vibes of our bath in Portugal actually. And also the exposed beams here are so beautiful. It's actually a massive room, which is pretty cool for a bedroom. And if you're wondering about bathrooms and everything, yes, the bath is the bathroom, and then there is a toilet downstairs, so it covers everything. And it's only a 15-minute walk from the embassy tomorrow.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really enjoying this little coach house. It's going to be a great base for the next few days. And I'm really excited to actually explore a little bit of Ireland. That is why we've got the hire car. As soon as our visa interview is done, we are going to go and explore as much as we can. And obviously, we're going to bring you guys with us.
The time has come. I've got my jacket on. I'm ready to go. Theo's just faffing around in the background. Are you ready?
We have our documents. I'm ready to go. It's quite nerve-wracking, but there's like literally nothing to worry about.
I know, I'm really nervous. We're the kind of people who get nervous over nothing, so wish us luck. Fingers crossed. You got actual perfect timing. I'm really excited because we've just finished our interviews, just got out of the consulate, and
our visas have been approved and we couldn't be more excited.
And we're going to talk to you all about the visas we went for, why we went for them,
the cost,
why we came here, the costs and all of that sort of stuff later on. But for now, we've got such a limited time in Northern Ireland that we're going to go on a road trip.
We are. We're going to head straight to the Giant Causeway because that seems like a really popular destination. I've seen loads of photos of it. The weather isn't the best right now. It's kind of sunny and cloudy, so it could be raining when we get there. Who knows? We've only got a couple of hours before it gets dark. Well, probably about 4 hours before it gets dark, but it's a bit of a way away.
I've always wanted to see it, and I want to see it in the daylight, and then once the sun has set, go back to our Airbnb and finally try out that amazing bath.
Wash over me, leave me far from my surroundings.
The weather has took a turn for the worst. It really is raining hard now. We're not too far from the Giant Causeway, which we're very excited about. It's going to be interesting to see if I can actually go for a walk because I'm an idiot and I forgot my wet weather coat. And it is Ireland and it is the winter, so this weather is normal. And we definitely have to come back here in our van at some point because the coastline is absolutely beautiful, even in the rain.
Take over me, over every rushing memory, if only for a moment. this could be my last chance.
So we've got to the Giant's Causeway, and as Theo predicted earlier, he has had to come up with a contingency plan because he only had a down jacket, and thankfully the visitors centre had a poncho.
It's like a challenge from Win the Wilderness in here. I'm trying to figure out how to actually put it on. I can kind of see a head hole, but my head looks too big for it.
I'm hoping actually that this will be a really good protection for the camera because it is raining cats and dogs. It's actually kind of more like a sleet. There was snow at one point as well. Oh wow, you look amazing. It's huge.
You can fit in here
We
as
can
well.
both go in there. Because we've driven 60 miles to get here and we went the scenic route, so it's been a good couple of hours and there's no way we're going to go all this way and not actually see the causeway.
And I know you guys know about fashion, just like me. I'm currently modelling a bin bag, but hopefully it keeps me dry.
It basically is a bin bag.
How do I look?
Dashing.
I am ready for the causeway, rain or shine. And there's a lot of rain.
Be in the grip of your arms, far from where I know.
It's about a kilometre's walk to the causeway down this road. It's actually really beautiful even though it's grey. And we were told by one of the members of staff that they've had a lot of rockfall and to actually walk on the causeway past a certain point is at your own risk. And we're definitely slight risk takers, so we'll probably end up walking down there.
Buried underneath, if you look any further then the storms appear, and lines all fade in time.
So this is the most sheltered bit I've managed to find here because it is pretty out in the open, but it is absolutely magnificent. I've always wanted to see the Giant's Causeway and it's even better in the rain, I've got to say. So if you're wondering what the Giant's Causeway is, it's not actually the only place like this in the world. It's created from lava, so it's not man-made, it's natural. It's basalt rock which has just rapidly cooled lava and created these crazy hexagonal shapes in the rocks. And it's got a really interesting story because anything Celtic, there's always a legendary myth about it, and this connects, or it connected, up to the northeast south, the western coast of Scotland, where there was a giant up there and a giant here in Northern Ireland, and they were going to have a fight, and they built this causeway so they could join in the middle and have a tiff basically. So there's a natural scientific explanation and then there's a lovely legendary explanation as well, and I think I prefer the giant one, hence the name Giant's Causeway.
I'm standing right at the end of the causeway. It's windy, it's rainy, the waves are crashing over the rocks, but it's still so beautiful and well worth the 3-hour journey to get here. I think it might be time to go back to the car because my hands and my arms, I can no longer feel them. They're red raw. I can only do a fist and I can't really feel them.
Well, that was absolutely refreshing. My skin is so cold that I can barely feel my face, but it was so good. Theo has taken the poncho off and I think we're ready to get back and have a glorious bath. So
that was amazing. It's such a good experience. It's so lovely to be sat in a warm bath after it was such miserable weather today. It's such a luxury being able to like turn a tap and have beautifully warm water and have a bath in minutes, because that is not something we get at all living on the road in our van. But I'm absolutely knackered. We had an incredible day. We got the visa. Things are going exactly as planned, and tomorrow when I wake up with a fresh mind, we are going to talk all about the cost of the visa and all the details around it.
Time to wake up. Sleeping like the dead. We've got a big day ahead of us.
I'm knackered. We have just left our Airbnb. It's super windy today, and now we are going to go through all of the visa stuff with you, all the technicalities, because we want to help you guys. You might want to do the same trip as we're doing, and if we can make it easier, then that's what we're here for.
So when we spoke about the fact that we were going to get visa interviews before, I know a lot of people were confused because they thought you don't need visas for the US. That's true, you can get the normal ESTA under the visa waiver program that lasts for 2 years. I think it's about $14 and you can go for 90 days at a pop, but we didn't want to only have 90 days. So we've gone for the B1/B2 business and tourism temporary visa that actually lasts for 10 years.
10 whole years, which is amazing.
It is.
When we tell you guys the price, I'll just tell you the price for that right now. The visa for both of us is £262, so that sounds quite a lot. But we don't need to renew that for 10 years.
And it gives us 6 months a pop in the United States. So we don't have to be constrained to 90 days. We instead have 180 days, which I think is way better. And like Theo said, it lasts for 10 years. So we can go for 6 months at a time for 10 years. That's why we did it.
Yeah, and we're going to do a video all about our route that we've chosen to take and how long we're going to stay in each country. And it's all just so exciting. Like, it really is. Now we can have 6 months in Canada and 6 months in the US, and then go back to Canada and back to the US.
Because in Canada, under their ESTA type visa, which I think is called an ETA, we get 6 months anyway. So we didn't need to go through the extra application visa process for that. We can just get the normal one, which I think is pretty cheap. Definitely not £262 for the both of us. So in terms of the actual visa process itself, you might be wondering, why did you go to Belfast for it? You do all the application online, and we chose the London embassy, but at the time there was no appointments at all in London. I was checking numerous times a day for a number of weeks and nothing was coming up.
It got quite stressful, didn't it?
It did. We were getting a bit scared because we were like, we're shipping the van at the end of March. We still haven't got an appointment. We need an appointment in March because they have to take your passport from you. We now don't have our passports because they've taken them to stick the visa in.
So we're actually flying back from Belfast to the UK, to Birmingham, on our driving licence, which is something we've never done before, so hopefully that works.
Because Northern Ireland's part of the United Kingdom, we can do that, so that's brilliant. And it is a bit scary to be going on a plane without a passport. So they take the passport from you, and basically when we were trying to find the appointment for London, there was an option for Belfast, and eventually we chose that. And we've used that as an excuse to explore Northern Ireland a bit, which was really lovely, because before that we never had even thought of coming here, so that was fabulous.
Exactly. And actually coming to Belfast, I would definitely recommend it because it seems a lot more relaxed than the London embassy. Basically, it's like in the middle of like a housing estate in a really quiet area. It's not right in the centre of Belfast, which is great. We walked there and it was just really simple process, really easy. The security guards, when we got there, actually knew us from the TV show that we've just been on, which was hilarious. So we're having a lot of banter with them.
Yeah.
That was good. And the guy who actually conducted our visa interview was a legend.
He was really
he was so funny. He was hilarious.
We walked into the interview room and he goes, "Don't take this the wrong way, but I already hate you because you're doing what I don't have the courage to do." And we were just like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, it was so nice to hear. And he was telling us stories about, you know, he's done hiking on the Pacific Crest Trail and stuff.
Yeah.
He was a lovely guy, so that really made it a lot easier for us.
In terms of what we found really useful regarding going for the visa interview, if you're going for one, I definitely recommend bringing as much paperwork as you can.
100%.
It really doesn't hurt to have more than enough stuff. So we'd printed off our finances, our home address.
I cannot stress enough how important it is to have money in the bank, to make sure your finances are together, because you're going to the US for a long time. They want to know that you can support yourselves.
Yeah.
So they were asking us questions about how much money we earn, like per year, how much we have in the bank, and you have to prove all these things as well, because if they ask them, you have to be, have all the information there to hand straight to them, which we did. and they actually asked for a lot of different information.
Yeah.
Also, they do their research on you as well.
Yeah.
They actually printed out news articles about us that we didn't even know existed and handed it to us to show that, you know, here's the information that we've kind of know about you guys.
Yeah, so they will look into you. They did look into us, and I just want to say some of the paperwork that you should bring with you and the things they asked us was the purpose of our trip, like why we were going there, why we wanted this visa, your intent to depart the United States, so where are you going from, where are you coming in, your ability to pay all the costs of your trip. So if you don't have enough in your bank account, they can ask you to basically show evidence that someone else will be able to cover your costs.
Yeah.
So don't worry if you're like, oh, I don't have loads of money, it's not going to happen. If you can sort something out so you can definitely prove to them that you are going to leave when you're supposed to leave and that you do have the funds to cover yourself whilst you're there, you should be okay. But obviously I can't, it depends on the person on the day as well. Like that's the thing with interviews, they'd already made their mind up basically.
Yeah, of course. Like we're in a good position, like we have the finances. We also had another visa from the US, which was a different type of visa that we had to partake in the BBC documentary or reality show that we know about now in Alaska. So we had that visa as well, which I think also helps you.
And I'd also like to say you pay for the visa before you go for your interview.
Yep.
So if you fail the interview, if they don't want to give you the visa, you don't get your money back.
No.
So you pay for that up front. It is a gamble and it is stressful. We had no reason for it to be denied, but we were still nervous when we were there, and there were other people there before us who did get denied.
Yeah.
And it is a little bit nerve-wracking when you're sitting there, but now knowing that we can go in and out for 10 years on that visa is just such a relief, because we're going to be with the van. It's just brilliant.
Seriously, if you do go for this visa or any other type of visa, just get all your documentation together. Make sure you take stuff, even if you're not sure whether they're asked for it. Just take it anyway. It doesn't harm anyone.
It's also worth knowing, because the Airbnb we stayed at, and we'll put a link to that in the description, because if you're going to go and do the same thing as us, this Airbnb is literally a 10-15 minute walk from the consulate. And you can leave all your stuff there because you're not allowed to really bring anything in with you. They take your phone off you, don't they, at security. So we just went through with these folders which just have all our paperwork. You have to have a photo ready to give them, and the US require a special sized one. It's not our normal UK passport photo, it's a special photo size, which we managed to get from just a general standard photo booth in I think the Bullring we got it done, didn't we?
Yeah, and you know, all these things add up. So the cost of printing stuff, the photos alone was £16. So we've got the visa, that was £262. Then you got the photos, £16. Our rental car was £100. Our Airbnb was £77. Our flights were £113. And the trains to get to the airport were £50. So in total, that's £618 just to acquire our visa.
Which is a lot of money, but I'm the kind of person, when it comes to money, when it feels a bit whoa, I'm like, that is a lot. If I break it down, 10 years, that's £60 a year.
Exactly.
But
it's
also,
not too bad.
We made a trip out of coming to Belfast. We could have technically flown in and out in one day if we wanted to.
But you just never know what's going to happen, do you? You might get delayed, so you want to allow a little bit of time to get here, and it's a stressful trip, so you want to make it as relaxing as possible.
I'd also like to say, speaking about delays, this morning on the news, the United States declared that anyone from Europe basically can't fly there because of coronavirus. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you've probably heard of coronavirus, which is sweeping the world as we speak. So we're a little bit anxious right now about being able to get to Canada. We just really hope that we're okay and that we can get to Canada.
If I had a choice, I'd fly to Canada right now just so we're there. But our van's still in the UK and we need to deliver our van to the port in Liverpool. And as soon as our van has left the port, we are going to jump on a flight and head straight to Toronto. Just so that we're safe and sound and we're there. And then we're going to somewhere really remote anyway, so we'll be well out of it. So fingers crossed that the coronavirus doesn't kick off any more than it is.
Yeah. If you've got like any questions or queries about the visa and all that kind of stuff, do leave a comment below.
Yeah.
I'll probably write a blog post about it as well because I'm a lifestyle blogger now. But I know that for me, I did a lot of research into it beforehand because I think the security guy, he was so impressed with my organisation because I'm so organised that even on our passports, I had like a little tab on the page where your photo is, and he was like, oh, this is impressive, I don't even have to flick through your passport. So I am a really over-organised
It's
person.
really useful for me because I just sit back and Bee loves to do all the organisational stuff, and you're very good at it as
Loves or doesn't have a choice.
You're very good. But yeah, I hope this video has been useful for you guys. As Bee mentioned, if you've got any questions about anything, please leave them in the comments and we'll do our best to get back to you. But yeah, exciting times ahead.
Yep, we've got a flight to catch back to the UK now. It's pretty stormy, so it's going to be a bumpy ride, I imagine.
But yeah, take care guys, and we'll see you on the next video.